Music is an ever-changing industry. What was once labeled as the world music genre is now spreading beyond its countries of origin. Global artists no longer have to sing in English to appeal to the mainstream audience. Over the last decade, we saw the rise of Latin music, K-pop and J-pop, and now Punjabi music is also reaching new heights with stars like Diljit Dosanjh selling out the biggest stadiums across the country. Now, while many of us in the West are only starting to catch on to the Punjabi music wave, this phenomenon is the product of more than 30 years of dedication for those who have built the industry to what it has become today. And you'll be surprised to find that a lot of the work actually happened right here in Canada. In a City News special, Cecilia Hua breaks down the history of Punjabi music in Canada, speaking with those at the forefront and behind the scenes on how its rise to mainstream is inspiring the next generation.
Get ready to witness the biggest Punjabi artist on the planet of all time.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this since like last May.
We never thought that a Punjabi singer can host such a big concert out of India.
And he's going to make a history today.
History was made the night of April 27th, 2024, when 50,000 people came to BC Place to see Indian superstar Diljit Dosanjh kick off his North American tour right here in Vancouver, marking it the biggest Punjabi performance outside of India.
It's really an honor for an Indian artist, like he have sold out the BC Stadium. It's the first time in history. Like, we are really proud of him and we are really excited. We booked all our tickets in advance. We are a group of 18 people.
I just came all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to see this show. And like, cause I'm a really big fan, right? And like, he used to never tours around the US. So me and our brother booked a flight. We made an entire trip out of this for a week.
It's really crazy the fact that like there's a Punjabi artist like here in Vancouver selling out stadiums now. Like, I didn't really think that was something that would be possible.
Diljit's rise to fame did not happen overnight. The 40-year-old singer from India began his career in the early 2000s and quickly rose to success in Bollywood. Last year, he made international headlines when he became the first South Asian artist to headline at Coachella. He then caught the attention of artists from the West who realized just how big of a fan base he had.
Mumbai, I would like you to make all the noise in the world for Diljit Dosanjh.
His singing is like for all generations, even kids and old people, any kind of generation can enjoy his songs.
He's really down to earth person, and that's just, I think that's what makes him the really like the biggest star right now.
We saw him grow like literally from 0 to 100 basically, so it's something very exciting.
We saw him grow as an artist and as a person.
It's our love for him, and looking at his career growth, it's amazing. It's an inspiration for all of us.
This isn't Diljit's first time performing in Vancouver, having held concerts at the Pacific Coliseum and Rogers Arena. But what makes this time around such a pivotal moment for the Punjabi community in BC and Canada?
He's not just singing for the young generation. He's not just singing for the old generation. He's singing for everybody. That's why people love him. People love his concerts. Nobody even imagined like the Punjabi concert will happen in BC Place Stadium. That's the Diljit. Diljit brought that Punjabi music concerts on that level.
It's definitely about time we saw someone on the big stage for the Punjabi culture representing us.
The love for community, actually you can see here are all Punjabis and you know everyone is so much excited. They were preparing for every kind of stuff for their clothes and they are very much excited.
Diljit is not the only Punjabi artist who has achieved international success. It's the culmination of more than 30 years of hard work by the diaspora, and now the rest of the world is finally paying attention.
That surely shows that the music took its time But once it reached the crescendo, people accepted it, and now with this younger generation accepting it and popularizing it, I think sky's the limit. That's what I can look at.
Coming up next, how has the Punjabi music scene in Canada evolved?
At that time, we thought, oh, we are at the top. We are doing the best, and there cannot be anything better than that. But then all our fellow artists, they've proved, no, there is more.
Music has always played an integral part of the Indian diaspora community. When families were first settling down in Canada more than 3 decades ago, many turned to CDs and videotapes of their favorite singers from back home for comfort.
Cheapest mode of entertainment in those days was the video business, because you could rent a video for $1, $2, $3, and the entire family can watch it at their leisure time and enjoy.
In those days, we didn't have enough population, Punjabi population in Canada.
Popular artists from India who came to perform would do so at school auditoriums or at melas, large outdoor gatherings where families could come together and enjoy music.
In 1985, I did a show with 1,200 people. And then in 1993 with 12,000 people.
In the 80s and 90s and until 2000, there was very rare Punjabi concerts happening, only once a year. When Vaisakhi happened in April, there was few entertainment organizers. They were bringing the Punjabi singers from Punjab.
As immigration to Canada flourished, so did the music styles. Younger artists began breaking out a new genre, causing a ripple in the Punjabi music scene in Canada and beyond. You no longer had to be a star back in the home country, but can rather start a career here. And many of them did so from right here in the Lower Mainland.
When the Punjabi artists started coming out from here, and they went back to India first, where they performed, and they obviously were very, very impressive. But once they came back, they also created such an impression that the Punjabi music, which is based in Surrey, is acceptable in India, and not just in India, all over the world. And once that started, then we started seeing some more artists coming in.
Enter Jazzy B, whose family moved to Surrey back in the 1980s. He was one of the first artists to experiment with a new type of Punjabi music, creating a fusion of the East and the West.
I started with mouth publicity. There was only TV and maybe newspapers. You hardly get on that, but it was always performing live, any chance you get.
His music captured the hearts and ears of an entirely new generation of listeners, previously drawn to English hip-hop and R&B songs, now able to enjoy the same genre in their own language. Jazzy B went on to have an impressive career in Canada and beyond, still performing to this day.
I think Punjabi music got that beat. It doesn't matter if you understand what the person is singing. It's a very happy beat. Bhangra, that dole, the drum comes in and the composition, the folk music, it brings out a dance out of anybody. I've seen all the changes, but one thing I got to say is you stay true to your game, you'll stay up there.
Later on came Karan Aujla, who moved to Surrey when he was in high school. From writing songs to performing around Canada, Karan has also developed a huge following.
I feel like it's the culture and the tradition and the sound of Punjabi music that's just coming up, That's it, man. It's the sounds. It's real, It's real music. I mean, it's been there for a long time.
Another glass ceiling was broken earlier this year when he became the first artist of Punjabi descent to win the highly coveted Juno's Fan Choice Award.
And it's just an amazing feeling. Like I cannot explain it in words. But we're doing this for the culture, for Punjab, and we're gonna keep doing that, man.
Now in 2024, the same people who grew up listening to Punjabi music at small venues and melas along with their entire family is witnessing it on one of the biggest stages.
At that time, we thought, oh, we are at the top. We are doing the best, and there cannot be anything better than that. But then all our fellow artists, they've proved, no, there is more.
These Punjabi singers, they are not just like professionally singing Punjabi music. They are also promoting the Punjabi culture. Like Diljit Dosanjh, he's using his Bhangra style. That's the old Punjabi folk dance, but he's mixing with his new singing style. Even now, like the new generation, the kids born here in Canada, they don't understand fully Punjabi, but they love Punjabi music. They love the beat.
I don't know how to explain it, but his voice just makes me super excited and happy. I like his voice. I like that he's loud and clear.
You like dancing?
While the Punjabi community has been around Canada for decades, it was only in the last few years that local venues and event partners started picking up on the popular demand.
The younger generation nowadays is more into hip-hop music, Punjabi music and all those. And this is the generation which likes to spend money, which wants to flex their muscles and go anywhere and everywhere. And that is why you're seeing the popularity going to this level.
Fueled by the new generation of Punjabi music fans, it was no question that the industry has spread beyond just the community. Diljit goes on to have sellout concerts in Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Calgary before wrapping up his tour in Toronto next month. Karan Aujla also set to go on tour in August.
I'm not sure if Punjabi music in and of itself has become more popular or just if venues and promoters and event organizers are focusing on it more. The diaspora communities around Vancouver are underserved, and the Punjabi community is one of those. So I think the interest has always been there. People are figuring out that we need to serve different audiences, and that's what we're trying to do.
The popularity of Punjabi music in Canada did not rise overnight, but rather it was reborn into a new genre of music with a brand new generation of artists revolutionizing the works of those who came before them. Up next, an exclusive interview with a Surrey-born music producer who has worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, breaking down this new wave of Punjabi music.
It just showcases that the fact that, Punjabi music is, massive and it's starting to take over and catch its wave.
Traditional Punjabi music takes on a folk style that is typically accompanied by a dole or a double-sided drum, with the vocalist taking the lead.
Initially, I remember Punjabi music just used to have harmonium, tabla, tolak and tumbi. That's it.
As more people immigrated from India to the UK, Canada, and the US, a new style was born.
Punjabi MC, at that time had done the song Beware the Boys, Mondial to Bachke, which became popular in like 2004. It was still folk, but he had taken, I think it was Night Rider by Busta Rhymes and fused it together, and that's what you got.
Artists began incorporating elements of hip-hop and rap into their music in an effort to appeal to the mainstream audience abroad. Here in Canada, we also saw a rise in local talents.
Definitely since we had the surge of student population that's come here and the immigration that's happened here, you've seen a lot of these artists kind of come up, like Sidhu Moosewala and Karan Aujla, AP Dhillon, who are now, at the forefront of the Punjabi music industry here.
Behind the scenes of the Canadian Punjabi music community is producer Intense. Born and raised in Surrey, Intense began learning the dole with his cousins at a young age. He then went on to DJ at weddings and events at the age of 12. Now he's working with some of the biggest names in the industry. Looking back at your career and seeing how mainstream this industry has become, how would you describe the shift in the way that Punjabi music is presented and perceived?
Growing up over here, there really wasn't a community and supporting what we were doing because I don't think they really understood. I kind of came in that generation that was in between this generation and the generation before me. But the generation before me, yeah, there was, DJs and stuff like that. They were doing wedding parties and stuff like that. And that was kind of like their constraint there, I would feel mentally. And I was in this situation like, I think we can get to a place that can be bigger and better.
Intense met Diljit Dosanjh during a trip to Mumbai in 2012. He showed the now superstar some of his beats, and the two have been collaborating ever since.
He's one of the most easiest people to work with in the studio. I think because he is really open and really willing to work and listen is the reason why he is where he is. He's a very humble individual. When he goes in front of that microphone, it's like, you know, he's able to just go and express himself, and it's amazing what he does. And when you write for somebody else, you know, it's really fulfilling when you see that person go and take your words and your lyrics and go and actually do justice to them. He's one of those people that can do justice to anything.
Intense went on to pioneer what he describes as a West Coast sound, taking elements from the UK and India, working with artists like Diljit, Karan Aujla, and AP Dhillon. He produced some of the highest streamed Punjabi tracks. Seeing his music being performed on some of the world's largest stages like Coachella and BC Place and recognized internationally was a full circle moment for Intense.
You know, my goal in life was to have the Punjabi music industry grow to a place where it is now, you know, and it's going to continue to grow. That's the beauty of it. You know, I always wanted to see it recognized on a stage that the Western world can really, you know, embrace and understand when we're finally there.
Now, Intense still works alongside his cousin, who also doubles as his manager, running his own studio, Double Up Entertainment, to discover and develop up-and-coming artists, continuing to push the boundaries of the industry.
Growing up, like I said, it wasn't that cool and people didn't really, you know, want to listen to it. They thought, you know, it's kind of lame. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's pretty cool, but you guys just need to learn to embrace it. You watch music videos and music videos look like a hip hop music video, like your favorite rapper, your favorite singer, whoever it is. You look at the artists, how they dress, how they walk, how they talk, how they look. You're like, yeah, it's not really any different than what these guys are doing over on the side over here in Hollywood.
The popularity of this new wave of Punjabi music can be seen all around, in the thousands of fans who attended Diljit's concerts throughout Canada, to a Canadian Punjabi artist performing and winning at the Juno Awards. The more than 30-year dream has finally reached its peak. Coming up next, we head to a Bhangra studio in Surrey, where one seasoned dancer inspired by the music of his generation is also passing the baton forward.
Like, I would have never thought that we'd be able to give this much back to the community just by doing Bhangra.
Like many Punjabi kids who grew up in Canada, Kabir Panesar was hesitant to accept his own culture.
I actually got cultured a little bit later on in my life. I was really into Western hip-hop culture as like a kid until about 10, 11 years old. And then I started learning something called the tol, which was the folk traditional drum. And it's mainly used in Bhangra. So I started learning that and just got really, really interested more in my own culture and why this all happens, and slowly led me to doing Bhangra, and now we're here.
And after dancing for nearly 20 years, he's now the director of his own Bhangra studio in Surrey.
The community here is actually the largest Bhangra community we have. I can't think of another city where we have multiple schools on one street. All it is just to, you know, get them a little more confident to go out into the world and, you know, be proud to be Punjabi, be proud to dance and be in such a diverse place as well.
But what he never imagined was performing alongside one of the biggest Punjabi stars in the world. Kabir and his team were chosen as the background dancers for Diljit during his Vancouver concert in front of a crowd of 50,000.
I didn't want to make any mistakes, but yeah, it was such a surreal experience seeing that many people in the audience and just trying to match Diljit's energy on stage, looking out into the audience, seeing people dancing and having the most fun. That was probably the best way to describe it.
Although the Bhangra community has always been around Canada and the Lower Mainland, it's become increasingly popular among the younger generation in the last decade, who have been inspired by seeing international stars like Diljit dance on stage.
The most surreal thing was to see Diljit carry one of our students onto the stage and have him dance in front of everyone. It was it's shocking to see that, because it wasn't planned or anything. He just kind of went up there. So when we saw him, I was like, oh my God, freaking out. Like I was backstage, like I know that kid.
Kabir hopes that by combining the art of Bhangra with this new wave of Punjabi music, he can inspire the youngest generation to embrace their own culture and fuel their dreams.
Some kids really enjoy it, and you can tell, like, you know, they know the songs and they have their favorite singers and they want to dress like them and act like them. It's icons like Diljit that make it so easy for kids and make the kids actually want to learn about their culture and tie a pug and know what a turban is, what it represents, right? So when they see someone at that caliber, they want to learn about it.
Punjabi music has proven itself to be one of the fastest growing industries, from being played at weddings and family functions to selling out the biggest stadiums in Canada. Its commercial success on foreign soil is a testament to what used to be just a dream can now be a reality. Canadian-born trailblazers are setting the stage for the next generation.
Oh, it's reaching some heights. Trust me, you'll see it.
You're hearing it, you're seeing it, you're going to see a lot more of it, that's for sure.
I personally think that the Punjabi music is going to break more ceilings and going to create some more records and is going to be the most popular music all across the world.
The rise of Punjabi music is here to stay, and it seems this is just the first wave of newfound success.